Hi, my name is Corey Quinn, and I am the founder of MyCoachMatch.com. We're a website that matches coaches with clients based on fit. I'm here with Coach Queenie. She's a success coach who specializes in social media marketing. Welcome, Coach Queenie.
Hi, Corey. I'm so glad to be here.
Great to have you. So, can you share with us, why are you a coach?
Well, the thing with me is before being a coach, I was a banker.
Okay.
And throughout my whole life, my teachers, especially from primary school, always told me, Queenie, you're going to be working for the rest of your life. Be sure to choose something you're interested in. So I've always kept that in my mind. And every job I did, I've done over probably 10, 20 professions, but every job I did was more about what interested me. So every time I got bored of a job, I would go and find something else that would interest me. And got to a point where people were saying, Queenie, you have to stop jumping around. You have to stay in a job for like at least 5, 10 years and build up from there. And so I listened to them. I went into banking, and I've been in banking for over 10 years, but I got bored. And everything I did in banking was so boring that I had to keep myself amused by doing extracurricular activities. So I did a lot of volunteer work. I did a lot of teaching on the side. And I did anything and everything to help people, because that's where I felt fulfilled, and that's where my passion lied, was in helping people. And so I decided to give myself some time off, and I came back to Toronto after being in Asia for 9 years to just take a break. And I said to myself, you know what, Queenie, if you come back to Toronto where your family is and you continue doing what you did, then nothing changes. Yeah. I'm just in a new in a new environment doing the same thing. Right. I'm thinking, that's a bit silly. Why would I want to do that? Like, why would I want to waste all that time to go to a different place and do the same thing?
That's right.
And that made no sense to me. So I said to myself, I'm going to give myself a year off. I don't know what I'm going to do in that year, but once I figure it out, then I'll figure it out. And that's sort of how it all started. But the underlying part for me is, I'm always helping people. And that's where I feel that my strength lies, no matter what I do. And so when I came across all this research about coaching, I started to realize, wait a minute, this is exactly what I've been doing all my life. But I just didn't realize that there was a profession for it. I was thinking, it might be a teacher, it might be a social worker, it might be working in the hospital, but I didn't realize that coaching could be a profession. And when I discovered that, that's when I came on board and I started doing a lot of research to find a reputable, credible school that could provide me the skill sets to be in this profession.
Yeah. So when should someone consider working with you as a coach?
With me, coaching is very interesting. Coaching is like looking for a trainer at the gym, or it's like looking for a therapist, or it's like looking for somebody that you trust and you feel comfortable to be around with, right? And like if you're going through a family crisis and you need a doctor, you obviously want to choose someone that you could connect to. Or if you're going through a law case and you're filing for a divorce, you want to select a lawyer that connects with you. Yeah. And that's in your best interest. So, and a coach is the same thing. A coach is, you want to choose somebody that you feel connected with, that you trust. Because when you're working with a coach, you have to be so open, and you have to be so frank, and you have to have that trust there, or else the relationship or the coaching relationship would never happen.
That's right.
So you have to feel connected and drawn to the person that you choose to be a coach.
So who's an ideal client for you?
I've been exploring this a lot because I'm very new to the industry. I've been around for 1 year. However, I've done a lot of experiential kind of settings. So I've attended a lot of seminars. I've coached anybody and everybody that came to me. So it didn't matter how old they were, what they were doing with their lives, or anything like that. And what I've discovered is the people who are drawn to me, there's two types. The first one are students. So they're young adults who's trying to find their way and they don't know what to do with their life after school. they're confused or lost, and they love talking to me because I have the experience and the knowledge that I've been through to be able to guide them in a direction that's suitable for them. And then the second group that is drawn to me are actually very well educated, experienced coaches themselves, which is quite interesting because I would never thought that they would be drawn to me. But the reason why they're drawn to me is because they have all this experience and knowledge, but social media, computers, internet, that's all foreign to them.
Yeah.
So they appreciate my guidance and, providing them what they already have onto a global platform, I would call it. Sure. And they understand that I understand them, so they trusted me to guide them in the right direction that would best fit their marketing or business needs.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I know from experience that is a very big need in the industry, so that's great that you're able to help. Yeah. So how important, in your experience as a coach, is a match between a coach and a client?
How important? It's the key to the coaching relationship. So without it, nothing happens. And I don't believe in, like, even for myself, I don't believe that you should, one day you wake up in the morning and you say you want a coach. I don't believe that the first person you speak to is going to be the person that you're going to hire as a coach. Mm-hmm. I believe in a screening process. Mm-hmm. So similar to, a landlord who's looking for a tenant, right? You don't want to accept anybody that comes in and says, I want to rent your place. You want to screen them based on the criteria that you set forth, right? Maybe you want a non-smoker, no pets, etc., or whatever the reasons may be. A coach is the same thing. And for me, it's all about trusting intuition. Like, it's a gut feeling. And you know whether you'll be able to help that person. Because, yes, I could accept anybody and everybody. But you know what? We don't have time for that. And we want to be able to maximize what we can do for you. And the only way we could do that for you is if we both feel like there's a need that we could both meet for the other party. And that takes time. So it doesn't happen immediately, and it takes time. Like, for example, myself, I'm doing my practicum in coaching in December. Like, I delayed it for a year just to gain more coaching experience myself, and now I'm doing it. But now for me, even I need to go find a coach. So I need to go and screen some qualified coaches under who are ICF qualified, which means International Coach Federation. And I'll be doing screening too, because I need someone to coach me as well as I go through this learning experience together.
Mm-hmm. Could you share with me a success story?
Success story? Well, I don't know where to start because there's quite a few interesting stories that come about it. Okay. And I guess the one that comes to mind as I'm speaking to you is I received an email from this person in the US, and she declared to me in her email that she was in crisis. And I couldn't sleep that night because I was thinking, I don't know how to handle this. Like, I don't know whether I'm the appropriate person for her to speak to, right? Because maybe she needs to speak to a 1-800 helpline number or somebody that deals with suicides, because I had no idea what she meant when she wrote what she wrote. Yeah. And so I didn't respond until the next day, and I stayed calm about it. And then when I responded, I said, are you sure that I'm the right person that you want to speak to, right? Because I don't live close to you, and maybe it's better for you to have someone in the neighborhood to speak to you instead of me, because I'm not close enough. And then, because she's been following me, like, through my social media, so she knows who I am, and I guess she's grown to be comfortable with me just based on my presence. And she said, no, Queenie, I want you to work with me. And I was like, okay, but I know, let me let you know first that there's only so much I could do for you. And if it does come to a point where you need someone to be there for you where you're situated, then I could try to reach out to see if there's anybody in the area that could help. Yeah. So it's those kind of things that sometimes come out of the blue, but then at the same time, it provides you with the most fulfillment, because you start to see and realize that people are out there listening to you, even though you may not be able to hear them all the time. But when they do reach out to you, they totally trust you and they're willing to share everything about them so that you can help guide them. And to me, that's the core of coaching, and that's the core of being of service to help someone. And yeah, those are the kind of experiences that I'll always remember.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, Queenie, so much for being here today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.